Hello everybody, welcome to this seminar on EPIGM Statistical Methods for Research Programme. Thank you so much for your interest. It's great to see so many of you from right across the US. Greetings from London. So this is me on the left. My name's David Lefevre. I'm one of the co-founders of EPIGM, and I'm here with my co-presenter Tessa Dagley, who was heavily involved in creating this programme, and will give a demonstration. So here's the agenda. First, we'll tell you a little bit about EPIGM because we're quite an unusual organisation. Then we'll give an overview of statistical methods for research programs, so what it does, how you use it, etc. Then I'll hand over to Tessa, who will give a demonstration, and then we'll answer any questions you have that we haven't answered already. As we go along, please type questions into the text box on your screen if you have any questions, and we'll try to pick them up as we go along. And if not, we'll answer them at the end. So let's get started. So EPIGM was founded in 2005 as a spin-out from Imperial College London, and it became part of Oxford University Press in May 2015. So my day job is at Imperial College, where I run a Department of Educational Technology, and we were doing a lot of practical work and research into instructional design, and we came up with a methodology which called on the best practice experts and technical people and developers from outside the university, and we put together some beautiful courses which were very effective but also extremely expensive, and we realized that we couldn't fund it ourselves at the college, so we reached out to other universities and started building courses in collaboration with them. So we put together groups of 15 universities at a time, a very international group from the US, from Asia, from Europe, and we'd work in collaboration with them to build courses. And this reduced the cost for everybody and also enabled us to improve the quality of the courses through the peer review process. So we started doing this, and it worked really well. It was extremely complicated. There was money changing hands and contracts. So we formed EPIGM as a vehicle to manage all this, and when it became bigger, it became part of the Oxford University Press. So it came out of a university. It's wholly owned by a university. It's a non-for-profit organisation and very much embedded in the sector. So moving on to bullet point 2. So we've been doing this for 10 years, and we focus on non-core curriculum training or personal development. So a whole range of courses in how to do research, research methods, grant writing, research integrity, and the one we're talking about today, which is statistical methods. And we also have a range of courses in how to teach in higher education and how to study in higher education too. And moving on to the last bullet point, we now offer 78 online courses across 12 programs, and we have 7 more programs in development. This, of course, is very important to yourselves. We're talking to you from London, but we're not parochial. Right from the beginning, we've reached out and worked with a global group of universities, reflecting our origins in a global university. We've worked with around 40 universities in the US now, and about 4 from Canada. So, these courses are generally applicable, and they've been tried and tested by your peer institutions. So we'll play you a short video now which shows how this development process works. So we'll show you the short video, and then we'll move on to talk about the Statistical Methods program itself.
Story of an EPIGM course. We come up with an idea, and we consult widely to develop and fine-tune it. We commission a team of expert authors to write it, and a team of expert reviewers to help them. We commission a lead advisor who gives strategic vision and leadership. And we bring together a team of universities who form a development group to give feedback on our plans and prototypes, and to make sure the product meets their needs. The collaborations we build are drawn from across the world and often involve input from over 50 academics, as well as our team of in-house specialists. Because we believe that collaboration and iteration are the key to producing truly innovative and effective products. So we bring everyone together for a launch workshop at the start of each project. It's a great mixing pot where the creative juices can flow and expertise can be shared. We provide a week-long training course for our writing team to make sure they're able to get the best out of the online medium. And we provide plenty of opportunities for sampling and feedback along the way through a detailed peer review process. In fact, a typical product goes through at least 5 iterations before it's ready to be built by our in-house developers. Together, we're more than the sum of our parts, and our unique and rigorous product development process gives all collaborators access to groundbreaking courses they couldn't have created alone. Here's what some of our customers have to say. Our products are used by over 200 institutions in 25 different countries. To find out more about the collaborations we're currently building, click on the Next Steps button or get in touch with us direct. We'd love to work with you.
Okay, so I hope that makes the development process a bit clearer. So, and I hope this is of interest to you. So what this means is you can be sure that the courses have been written by experts from your peer group. The courses have been peer reviewed, so you can have confidence that they'll be useful and applicable to your context. And as you'll see when Tessa gives the demo, the courses are extremely rich, interactive, and we hope very high quality. I think we've covered this slide now. As we said, it's a development group of up to 20 members, and we'll show you more about the group who built this course later. So here's an overview of the Statistical Methods for Research program. So first of all, who's the program for? Well, it's for master's students and PhD students who require a foundation course in statistics. So it's for students who are conducting a research project of some kind which involves statistics. The reason this course is generally used is that students are not often given a rigorous training in the statistics they need. So looking at the third bullet point here, it's based on a highly successful course from the University of Reading, and being statisticians, they recorded the average improvement, and it's 125% in students' performance. So that's the course. The core curriculum aims to give 85% of master students and 60% of PhD students the statistics they need to successfully complete their research projects. For those who need to use more advanced methods, it gives students a base understanding from which they can understand those more advanced methods and make appropriate choices. This is the lead advisor, so it's Sandro Lidi from the University of Reading. Sandro is a very experienced statistician and also has particular interest in using online teaching methods, which he's been doing for a number of years. Here's the group that co-built these courses, which you'll see shortly. And this is the syllabus. So course 1 is an introduction, course 7 is the conclusion. Then the core courses in the middle are course 2, so describing data well, so graphing data, tabulating data, etc. Course 3 is making good generalizations. Course 4 covers hypothesis testing. 5 moves on to modeling, and course 6 talks about comparison studies, use of categorical data. So shortly Tessa's going to show you the courses. As you're looking at the courses, it might be worth bearing in mind how they can be used. So first of all, they can be used as standalone online courses. So you make them available to your students or online, and the students can take the courses anytime they like. So the idea here is it's on-demand learning. So when students are about to conduct their project, they can get access to statistical training at the time they need it. The second way is using tutors. So you might want to provide tutor support. Tutors can guide students through the course. They can respond to questions from students. They can provide more finely grained feedback than the computer can provide. So it's an enhanced learning experience, perhaps a more effective one from a learning perspective, but you lose that degree of flexibility. Generally speaking, you'll have a start date and an end date for the course in this mode. The third mode is to use the course as a part of a blended learning program. And typically for this course, students will study the online course ahead of a workshop. And what this means is that when they start that workshop, they have the base knowledge of statistics they need, and the workshop can then focus on problem solving or applying the knowledge to their particular context. So as you can imagine, this is a particularly effective way of helping students with their statistics. It's also maybe the least flexible way. So you have a spectrum here from maybe pedagogical effectiveness versus flexibility. And what many institutions do is make the courses available in all three modes. Another important part of implementation is that you have two options for delivery. So you can put them into your own LMS, and if you do that, you can tailor the courses to your context. You can add screens, delete screens, link to other resources, workshops, etc. Or you can use them in our LMS. And the trade-off there really is having something closely embedded in your LMS, so closely embedded in your learning experience, versus the ease of use of using our LMS. So if you use ours, you can get up and running with these courses very, very quickly. So that's a bit of context on how the courses are used. And I'll now hand over to Tessa, who will actually show you what the courses look like.
Great, thank you, David. So before I launch into the demo, it's worth mentioning that there are 5 faculty-specific versions of the programme: Social Sciences, Biomedical Sciences, Business, Engineering and Technology, and Natural Sciences. So the screens that I'm going to show you will be taken from the version designed for the Social Sciences. However, all pedagogical features are the same across all versions. So to start, I've selected a couple of screens, and let's start by looking at the one on straight line regression in the course on statistical modelling. So at the top of every screen, we have a screen challenge, which indicates what is going to be covered in the screen and what participants should have learned or should be able to do after completing that screen. We also offer an estimated duration, here 7 minutes, so that participants have an idea of how long it is likely to take to work through the screen. Screens vary in length throughout the programme. So as you can see, this particular screen is about straight line regression and takes as its focus a data set about the relationship between an individual's personal savings rate and their amount of disposable income. So this data is presented in the table here. Moving down the screen, you will notice that certain words are highlighted in green, such as the word pattern here. This indicates that the word can be clicked to obtain a pop-up glossary. Additionally, at the beginning of each course, participants are able to download a document containing all the glossary definitions for that particular course. There is also an overall programme glossary which participants can download and refer to if they wish. So next on this screen, there's a colourful flowchart. This shows the statistical modelling framework, which will be applied in an activity later on in the screen. Visual representations like this one are used throughout the programme to illustrate key learning points. Now you will notice on the right-hand side little clickable boxes which we refer to them as pods. These contain extra information about the main screen content, as well as activities, documents to download, definitions of key terms and links to further reading. I will now move on to talk about activities. So the first activity you see here is a book activity. There are 2 types of activities in the programme: interactive and presentational. Interactive activities require the participant to do something, whether this be entering text in response to a question, matching items or putting items in order, and so on. Presentational activities are used to present key subject matter in an engaging way rather than simply as flat text. So this book activity is an example of the latter. And it takes the participant through a step-by-step example of using the statistical modelling framework. Now on this page here on the right, you will see a screenshot which is taken from a real statistical software package, InStat. The demonstrations and activities in the program as a whole have been designed to support students in using a range of popular statistical packages. I will talk more about these in due course. Underneath the activity, there is another pod which is worth pointing out. It's an example of one of the unique features of this program, and it is called an interactive model pod. Now, these give participants the opportunity to see statistical concepts in action. This particular pod is on the topic of residuals and features two interactive graphs which the participants can manipulate and observe the effects. So if I'll just demo the first one. You're able to move both red arrows up and down in order to manipulate the data. And in the following model, again you can do the same. Here, the participant is used to position the line in such a way that the residual sum of the squares, that is the total area of the boxes, is as small as they can achieve. Underneath this one, there is the option to reveal the solution, so you can calculate the least squares and see the result. So these pods appear throughout all the courses in the programme and appear in different formats as well. Another exciting feature can be found in the fourth course of the programme. Which hypothesis test should I use? So I'll click to that screen now. A screen on a decision-making rule for hypothesis testing, the p-value. Now, midway down the page, you will see the first example of what we call a worked example here. These are helpful videos dotted throughout the programme which guide you through how to conduct various statistical analyses in different statistical software packages. They complement the main screen content and concepts by demonstrating and providing students with highly practical statistical skills. This one here illustrates how to complete a one-sample t-test and calculate the p-value in the software package Minitab, using the data of rented housing as detailed higher up on the screen. Specifically, this video shows the student how to test the null hypothesis, which here states that the true mean percentage of rented housing in the town is 38.3%. I will play a short extract now, just to give you an idea.
We conduct a one-sample t-test to test the null hypothesis that the true mean percentage of rented housing in town is equal to 38.3. We do the following. Stat, basic statistics, one sample T, click on the summarise data. Our sample size is 30 with 30 boards. The mean is the sample mean.
You get the idea that the instructions are very methodical and very clear to understand. Underneath each video, there's a transcript button. This contains the text mentioned in the video. And in fact, all our screens, I should just highlight, have a printable version which can be accessed via this text print version. These printable versions are compatible with screen readers and are useful for those who are unable to use the interactive version for any reason. These have been developed with the help of our expert accessibility advisor at the University of Edinburgh. Okay, moving on to another feature on this particular screen. Here you'll see a different kind of pod, a statistics in the real world pod. So these are intended to highlight the relevance of statistics and statistical methods in wider society and everyday life, providing links to interesting, engaging articles and news items. So this link here, for example, illustrates how p-values are being used for real research into whether or not a full moon affects crime rate. I will now talk briefly about the resources and modes of assessment that can be found in the programme. So let's first look at the course quiz and course quiz resources. I've stayed in this course which hypothesis test should I use, but in fact in all courses, with the exception of the introduction course, there are multiple choice quizzes at the end which provide an opportunity to put what has been learned in the course into practice using a mainstream statistical software package of the student's choice. Before each of these quizzes, there is a course quiz resources screen which provides the resources needed to complete the quiz. Typically, the student will be instructed to download two documents. The first is a spreadsheet containing a dataset, and the second is an additional figures sheet. This is a document which provides further information, such as graphs or tables, depending on the quiz. It is worth noting that the datasets are also available to download on some other screens prior to this particular resources section, wherever they complement the specific material or the topic on screen. So moving further down, we also provide downloadable instructions for completing the quiz for 7 different statistical packages listed here. These PDF documents take the students through the questions step by step, instructing what to do on screen, which functions to select, and clarifying when to move on to the next question. Finally, let's look at some of the other features in the course which give students further opportunities to measure their progress. One feature, as you can see, is the pre-programmed quiz. Now this quiz appears twice in the programme, first in this course 1, the first course in the programme, and secondly as a post-programme quiz in the final course. In this first course, it gives the student an opportunity to test their existing knowledge, and it is a multiple choice quiz of 20 questions. The student has 50 minutes to read and answer all the questions, and at the end they have an opportunity to print a record of their responses. The idea is that they can look out for the particular topics which need further attention as they work through the programme, and as I mentioned, they can then test themselves to see how much they've learnt in the final course, where the same quiz reappears. A second form of assessment is on the screen, Complete a Model Report, also in the concluding course. This screen contains a highly interactive series of activities which give students the chance to complete their own sample model report. Not only is it useful, but it's hopefully fun as well, and something that students can relate to and can apply to their own studies. So by downloading the dataset here, and by completing the range of activities, students can simulate the methodical development of different sections that feature in a standard statistical report. For example, they can complete a close activity. They can then move down and manipulate box plots and scatter plots, again with interactive features such as this. These activities round off the course and round off the programme in general, and hopefully the student will finish with the downloadable results showing that they have understood the skills taught throughout the course and with a record of their activities. I hope that I have given you a good taste of the programme content and of some of the pedagogical features with this demonstration. If you have any questions, please do note them down now, or feel free to contact EPIGM after the webinar. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll now pass you back to David.
Thank you, Tessa. So hopefully now you know a bit about EPIGM, a bit about what these courses are for and the benefits of the courses. I hope you found this interesting and that you're still interested in the courses. Maybe the one thing we didn't mention was the support we give. So we're very keen that people who subscribe to the courses are able to use them effectively. So if you chose to take this further and subscribe to these courses, put in a lot of work helping you to use them, showing you how to use our VLE or how to tailor them for your VLE, showing you how others have used them, training your staff, etc. That all comes within the subscription. Great. Okay, well, I think that we've managed to answer all the questions. Next steps are, if you're interested in learning more, taking a look at the courses yourself, working through them, or working at questions about pricing or how to use them, etc., please get in touch. You can go to our website, this URL, or you can just email marketing@epigm.com. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this a useful spending of your time. The courses are really great, they work, students like them, and I hope that you continue your interest in them. So thank you very much. Bye-bye from me.
And bye, thank you.